behind the days.
And we're in.
Hello.
Welcome to Behind the Days. That's Mel.
And he's Luke, I think.
I
don't know who you are.
I know my hair's getting kind of shaggy, but I'm the same man.
Yeah, you really need a haircut.
So I told Oscar, he said no.
No, you do. 100% veto.
Our intern has different ideas.
I don't care about the intern.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
What are we paying him for?
We're not paying him.
Shh, don't tell the listeners.
If you want an internship at Behind the Desk, please join us. Send us an email. We're really great to work with. So we have a very special guest in our studio today, but before we do that, Luke is going to share with us an experience he had from this crazy audition season, and then we'll get to the nitty-gritty.
Okay, all right. So I'm working at the place I work, the place. And it's getting late in the season. So, everybody's coming out of the woodworks. It's like, I don't have a contract. I'm trying to put myself out there one last time. I support you. I appreciate what you're doing.
Support you.
But, oh my God. So, this call just happened to be a lot more plays. I'm not going to say the place. But so it was a lot of 40, 50, 60-year-old people coming in. Because it was plays and we weren't all contemporary young stuff. And I lost my goddamn mind. There was 500 people on the floor, and they all were confused as hell. They were older, so they were really being divas. They were like, which way is such and such rep? I was like, there are signs. There are signs there. There are signs there. There are signs over there. You have other actors that could tell you. This woman comes up to me in a scarf wrap and sunglasses, a la Mel, and goes, I'm sorry. I called in, and I heard this place was open at 8. Why did you open the gates at 7:30? Now I'm behind. Oh, I was like, I'm sorry. Because I wanted the whole kit and caboodle to be corralled behind the gates. There was 100 people by the gates. I was like, I can't. Anyway, it was a bunch of older actors being divas, being lost. They were trying to go into the wrong
That's what
rooms.
I aspire to be,
but
Luke.
but without any hesitation to just yell at me too. They're like, "Where is it?" And I was like, God, calm down. Read the board. Anyway, it was a blast. And then there was a girl who tried to shut the door to a room that I was fixing. She went in there as I was coming out, and then I hear the door close. I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, I'm going to use this room. I was like hell you are. I literally said that.
If people didn't know where we worked before this, I think they have a very clear picture of what's
There's
happening
no one
now.
in there. I was like, what? If you go into a gas station and you steal some hot Cheetos, that would be called theft. We sell time and space. What do you sell?
What an excellent analogy. How long have you been sitting on it?
I've been sitting on it a while.
Oh my goodness, the perfect moment.
Well, how many hot Cheetos do you steal? I don't know.
It is our special guest. She is claiming that Luke has stolen words from
I've
her
never said
mouth.
that about you, or you've never said
No,
hot
that's
Cheetos.
her. You can talk.
I can talk now.
Oh, yeah, sorry. She's not mute.
No,
Or moot.
No, the time and space thing, not the hot Cheetos thing. That was
What do you
weird.
mean?
Oh,
That
yeah.
is what we sell. Don't say where we work.
Everyone knows.
It's fine.
Unless we're corporate Airbnb.
Look, we got downloads from Sweden this past week. I don't know where we're going to blow up. I don't know what kind of lawsuit could come into play later. We'll be like, we don't know. We don't know where we work. We never worked there. We never talked about it on
I
the
don't even know what you're
podcast.
talking about.
What's work?
Exactly.
I have no recollection.
Anyway, for you older diva types, I have no patience for you. Especially since this is the first audition I've seen some of them
I
at.
don't think Luke and I are going to be friends in 2 years when I become an old diva.
Yeah, because you're going to come in a wrap and sunglasses.
Yeah, I do that
were
now, bro.
They were cat eye, wingtips type
that's
glasses. Barcelona.
Literally.
That's what you looked like.
It's literally who I am.
No, I really thought of you when she came up to the desk. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Listen, you got to protect the instrument. The
I
instrument
called
is my
yesterday.
taste.
I would also like to say I'm the one she spoke to yesterday.
Shut up. Are you
Yeah.
really?
I definitely remember telling this woman 8 a.m. and she was like, are you sure? And I was like, well, sometimes he gets there earlier, but technically we open at 8 a.m.
Well, this is
So
Taylor.
I apologize.
She is
Luke,
the
that was
reason
my-
Luke had a bad day, so
And
this is an
I
excellent
simply
start.
said, I was like, I didn't want people to be uncomfortable. They were literally swimming on top of each other. It was a fire hazard. And she goes, well, I guess that was really nice of you, huh? It's like, God.
This woman is who I aspire to be. We need to find her.
Jeez.
We need to find her immediately
my
and have her
God.
on this podcast. So,
So she's coming on next week.
Alert!
Helen.
Helen! We have a very special guest in the studio today. She was
Coming in at 5'2" and
Not even. Solid 5 foot.
5
you're
foot.
5 foot nothing,
God.
100 and nothing, and you just
Oh my
made
God,
the
you and Luke
best
have
damn
so much in
studio.
common, being 5 feet tall. It's so funny. Okay, so
Do you and giraffes get along?
yeah, we do. It's great. A lot of necking. So, we have a very special guest, and she's special because she's already been featured on our Instagram because she is our biggest super fan.
I think she's had a horror story too.
She has.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I don't remember which
So,
one though.
shout out everyone. If you're a super fan, one day you can
One
sit
day you can
behind
make
this
it.
desk.
Hitting my
I'm
desk.
sorry. So this is
Shut
Taylor
it.
Thompson. She's wonderful and magical and everything good in the world. And obviously, she's worked with both Luke and Mel before. And she's going to give a little spiel about who she is and what she does.
Lean into the mic, Taylor.
Hello there.
Cozy up.
My name's Taylor. I do an array of things in theater.
You do an array of
And-
things?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what
She's the jack of all trades. She's the Mary Poppins of theater.
Oh, that's
I
fun.
am
I'm so
actually,
glad
and
she's
I
a
am a
jack of all
nanny, so I
trades.
really am.
Come here, come here, baby. You got a soft
I gotta like
voice.
sit on Mel's lap.
Yeah.
You got a soft personality, sweetie.
Anyway, so I have done everything from assistant direct to assistant stage manage to act and
Why?
direct. Why?
Yeah, why?
Because I like all these things. When I was in high school, I had a drama teacher who made everyone you had to tech at some point in some show if you were in drama club, which I thought was really cool because it gave you sort of an appreciation, but it also gave you a skill set to do when there wasn't a role for you. And like I did a 2-man show, and obviously I'm not. Well, I guess not obviously, you can't see me, but I'm not an 80-year-old man, so that
What?
I could not be in this. I could
I
not
thought
be
we were
in
hitting
the
our
show.
demographic here.
They were like, whoa, wrong crowd. Anyway, so I, most recently, I directed my first festival show in New York City.
What festival?
It was New York Theater Festival.
Festival.
They do Winterfest and Summerfest. I did Winterfest.
I was about to be like,
Which
which
is
one were
also
you
gonna
involved
be
in?
Summerfest this year because
Yeah.
it's never going to get warm out.
We were up to do another play for Summerfest, but they're really strict about fake blood, and that's just like
How much
a deal
fake
breaker.
blood do you need?
For this one show, a lot.
Like a pint.
It's a comedy. It's great.
Yeah.
Is there like a limit to how much you can lose?
It's like half a pint.
Yeah.
No, but like as a human, is that part of the
it's,
problem?
it's like
a
5
It's a
pints.
comedy, so they can lose a lot of blood, and it's fine. It's
Oh,
great.
yeah. Okay, sure.
But they won't let us do it. And that's fine.
There's 5 pints of blood in your body.
Really? 5 pints?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
You can only lose half of one?
I also enjoy Taylor as a human. Because
pretty cool.
she's,
Yeah, she's
a
okay.
huge fan of podcasts. Like, she
is.
loves
Religious.
podcasts.
Shout out to my favorite murder.
She's a religious listener.
Murderinos.
Stay sexy, don't get murdered. Please don't sue us for saying that. Maybe you should cut that out.
No, that's the
Okay,
catchphrase.
good.
They
Okay,
want
good. I don't know
publicity.
the rules.
People in Sweden are listening.
I don't know
Appreciate
the
it.
rules. The reason Luke and I are performers mainly. and
What?
Who are you even? But the reason Taylor has been a special guest today is because she's, like she said, done it all, but also very recently in the New York scene, which is a different scene than any other, I feel.
Which Mel and I haven't really done.
No, we've never really done it. But also, just, do you have a favorite thing? Do you have something like, what is your dream doing all these festivals? Why do you agree to do these festivals? Where do you want it to take you?
Also has a myriad of jobs too. Because every time you've done these things, you're not always directing. You've been doing everything.
Like
Yeah,
your last
exactly.
show, you were directing, and you produced it, and you helped collaborate on the script. Am I correct?
We did some script work in the rehearsals. It was mainly her work, though. We kind of just reworded a few things here and there.
So do you and well, let's go back. What is your hope
I was
and
like,
dream?
give her a second to answer a
I'm
goddamn
sorry.
Yeah,
question.
you wasn't like that question.
You're right.
Go.
My end goal is directing and writing, not only for stage but for television and film.
Dope.
And so the festivals are cool because they allow the director to kind of have control over most creative elements because you don't have a large team. So you're like, I did my own set. The girl who wrote the script made the posters. Like, it was done as a group, and it was small, and it was cool because it made it, the actors were involved, and we allowed donors to collaborate on posters, and it's cool when something's small like that, and it gives you good exposure. It was our first one, and we were lucky that we didn't have a bad review, fortunately. But you also don't get a lot of reviews because it's a festival show. But this one was kind of cool because they actually allowed you to have like a tech day. It was only 3 hours, but it's more than most festivals give you.
Which is like, hey, you have 10 minutes before you start. Set it up and do it. Yeah.
Exactly. But there is the catch that another show goes up either immediately before you or immediately after you.
So you gotta have a simple set situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which mine was, and the group after us had a much more complicated set. So it was nice that we had such a minimal set and that my actors were able to move it by themselves so we didn't have to have extra stagehands. And
How did you get into these situations? This sounds like it's like a crime scene. How do you keep putting yourself in these situations? Or like Crime Story. That's not what I mean. I just mean, like, how did you get involved with like these festivals? Because it's just so foreign to us.
Well, the festival scene I was brought into.
Sit down, Mel. God, she literally just went outside to take a call, and I want the listeners to know. God, this isn't like an office that you just.
I'm a busy lady.
Just taking business calls.
Yes. How'd you get involved?
So I got involved in festivals specifically through my friend Rebecca, who's a playwright, who would get pieces accepted, and she supports me as a director. And
Oh,
lets
so
me
she
direct
would get
the
to
work.
pick her team?
Yeah, essentially.
That's very different than how let's say like real world, that is the real world. But I mean, like, playwrights don't always have a lot of pull.
Well, it's whoever submits.
Gotcha.
the piece.
Okay,
And
so it doesn't always have to
these
be a playwright.
These festivals are being submitted by her, the playwright producer, because she
Gotcha.
covers as producer.
Okay.
And that's how the teams decided.
Cool.
At least from my experience.
Okay.
So why? I mean, that was one of your first experience in festivals. Why do you keep going back? Do you love the collaboration? Do you love finding new works?
Both. So last year I got a great opportunity to work with the Public Theater doing a public studio show, which was a short 2-month process, 1-month rehearsal, where the playwright was in the room every day and the scripts were being edited and updated. And I mean, by the end of the show, the ending had completely changed. Actually, 4 performances in, the ending completely changed, and the actors learned a whole new script, and it was an incredible process.
Easy. That's not stressful.
Right, and I remember handing it to them, and they were all like, oh, okay. And I remember we were all mad because, I mean, it was such a better play ending, but it was really heartbreaking as, like, people who had gotten attached to characters, and, like, we liked the happy ending, and that was ripped away from us, and we were all really sad. And
Life's not about a happy ending.
and that's exactly, I mean, it was a beautiful process.
Mel's about to cry. You'll have your happy ending, Mel. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But that wasn't a festival. That was a studio, but it was done sort of in a festival manner where it was what they considered minimal set and things like that.
So you've said that you've performed before, and you're still pursuing that as well. Recently, you restarted submitting and all of those things. Do you think it helps being on both sides of that? Or do you think now when you have to jump back into an actor role, it will be harder for you not to be as malleable to a director?
Well, that's tricky because I'm acting in the show and I'm assistant directing.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So that kind of makes it'll be the first show I'm not directing. So that's going to be different. Even if I am assistant director, I'm still under someone else's lead. So
on that, going off of that, how do you, I mean, this goes into what we were talking about not last year, that wasn't a thing, last week, which was like cultivating relationships with other actors, being like in charge in like a leadership role.
What?
So you're going to be an assistant director and an actor.
That's a sticky line to like.
That's
flirt
going to
with.
be okay with your other actors? Have you done that before? What's kind of like your experience directing and collaborating so closely with them?
It will be my first experience doing both.
Okay.
At least this creative team I've worked with before. I don't know the whole cast list.
Okay.
So there may be actors who I've worked with them when I was last time I was assistant director for this theater company. If it's some of the same actors, they at least know me on that side. But it'll be a different relationship having to also be an actor, because you have to, at least as stage management, I've been told, watch the line, let the actors have their relationship and be what they need to be and create
for sure, yeah.
Don't step in too deep in rehearsals and get in the way of other people's process, because at first I went from being an actor to being on the tech side, and that was a weird change. Because I had to remove myself from a lot of the conversations and just the ears, which I'm a big talker, so like...
What?
Yeah,
No!
So being quiet was not...
I have a question, because I actually just realized that this is the first, like, directing type person we've had on the show. And I personally feel
spotted.
like this... You making more giraffe jokes? No! They have spots! I feel like it's like, as hard as it is to be a fucking performer, it's even harder to be a director, because there's even less jobs out there. And I'm gonna safely assume, like, at this point in your career, you're not making, like, hella bank, like, when you do this stuff, but you are consistently directing stuff, which is, like, killer for somebody our age, because, like, I have so many, like, directing friends, but they're all at least in their 30s, and they, did the path of, like, kind of sort of doing what you're doing, then getting their MFA. Now they're back to doing almost the same stuff, like some of them, are getting bigger gigs here and there. I feel like you're doing the right path to, like, get to a bigger place. But do you have any advice on, like, how to go about nabbing these directing gigs, other than, is it just all about knowing people?
I think it's good to establish relationships with people that you work with, that you enjoy working with. Don't go and be friends with everyone just because you want to get a job, but stick with the people who give you something, who make things fun. If they're a writer, definitely ask to see their work and let them know that you'd be interested in working on pieces. I'm lucky the director or the writing friend I have, I've known since high school. And in high school, I was a huge fan of her writing. Yeah. So when she moved up here and needed a director, and that's what I was doing, it just kind of made sense.
Yeah.
And thankfully, she likes me.
She trusted you to, like, tamper with her work.
Yeah, and being a writer myself, like, I'm not afraid of bringing certain things up. And she's just constantly keeps me in mind when she has projects going on, and I encourage her to do more, and she encourages me to do more, so it's a nice work relationship
Do you think this is the right city to be in with the right resources to be, like, on a trajectory of, like, directing? Because actually I also don't know anybody else, like, that's doing it in this city specifically. Everybody else does, like, Chicago and things like that.
Yeah,
For plays,
I mean, I'm one of those kids who turned 18 and moved to New York, so, like, I don't think anywhere is a better place to be.
Sure.
I think...
As I leave.
Well, we had that discussion about, like, you went to school here.
Yeah.
So having that network of people, actors, writers, it's so much bigger.
I feel like that is, like, a key aspect. Is
I mean, you didn't
having
have
some of that
network.
educational background, because that also leads to other resources, and so just the network becomes very different than, like, yes, you moved here, but it wasn't like you had a blank slate necessarily.
Right. Well, and I did acting school, and then I went to school for production. So I have resources on both ends.
Right. And you've done production for other people, I'm sure, that have let you direct after you've done
Yep.
production.
Well, I think
they've let me act in things
Yeah.
as well.
There's something to be said. I mean, you have your project with a friend that you know from school.
Are you talking about music?
Nate. Yeah.
Oh, this is my only other side project besides that. What am I
But
talking about?
Nate-
You're right here.
Hello. But Nate is from UT, right?
Yeah. Nathaniel.
Nathaniel. And, like, that's how you collaborate, though. And that's how you found your network. So New York makes sense because your friends are trying to do the exact same thing as you.
Yeah.
They're on the same trajectory.
But also with
We're, like-
directing specifically, which is such a hard
Yeah, but
niche
think of how
thing.
many of young actors we know in the city who would act for Taylor if she had
Yeah.
a great script.
No,
you
yeah.
know, and that's a great resource for her. And you've met people through school and also through like just doing festivals.
Yeah, totally.
And they're all doing it for little to no pay, and they're just doing it to
Yeah.
get their name out there. You know, it's
Yep.
a New York credit, which is great, especially in the play world.
Well, and
It's very
I feel
different.
like that is a big, for people who don't live here, honestly, I feel like having some kind of schooling here in the city is like a massive key to like at least getting a foot forward.
It's a
in
good
your
Going to do like a
career.
training program, like if you
Yeah.
come and do Stella Adler in the city for like the
Yeah.
3-month summer program, that's
Even
the people
just
that are doing
is
they're doing the
helpful.
same thing as you. They want to do the same thing. They want to break into the same
Yeah.
kind of world, and like that's why I went to school at AMDA, and I know a lot of my friends from there, and they're constantly doing things. You know, like they're constantly
Yes, you're the herpes of New York.
they're
Like,
constantly
no matter
doing,
where
like,
you look, they're there, and you can't get rid of them.
But they're doing cabarets and they're creating their own things, and they always need people, and like it depends if you want to support them and whether you knew them as great friends or just as classmates. You know, you see a cool project that they're doing. That's how the podcast. That's how we've gotten half of our support.
Yeah.
Just like people we know who are like, that's really cool that they're doing something.
Oh,
you
there's
know,
people
Yeah.
in Sweden, like
stop bringing up Sweden. Like, do you
and
want
the
to go
UK.
there?
You just want them to know.
We got more continents.
But yeah, so that's awesome. And where this might be a tough question, you can say, go to hell, Mel.
Hashtag go to hell, Mel.
Way to go. Way to get that in there.
You get 3 minutes. Go.
When is your, like, so you say ultimately what you want to do. Is there, like, a cutoff point for when festivals won't be enough for you? Like, in 5 years, you, like, if I'm only doing festivals, if I'm only directing, acting in festivals, I'm done? Or, like, are you going to do it till the end of the earth?
I don't think I'm gonna do this until the day I die. If I need to have a 9 to 5 to make that happen, I'm gonna have a 9 to 5 to make that happen, and I'll direct community theater in whatever shitty town I live in with my picket fence and
5 dogs.
yeah, and 5 dogs exactly.
sorry,
All
cats.
cats,
Cats for
exactly.
Heathen Mel.
My third husband.
What do you do?
But I
You're
will.
gonna have 3 husbands at the same time,
Yes.
or like you'll have divorced the other 2.
No, 3 at the
Very
same time.
important details.
Well, I'll be on rotation.
Okay, good.
Business trips.
2 days a week.
One of them has to watch the house in the city, so you know.
There you go.
Luke gets it.
Oh yeah, living it.
No, but I'll do it even if I don't think there's a cutoff point for me.
Okay.
I don't think there is.
So no, enough is enough.
Oh my god.
What a beautiful way to look at it. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at our email. I just saw the like Lin-Manuel Miranda has shingles, but he's doing just fine.
That
Tweet.
was like last week.
I know, but I'm just like I just
Hey,
to read
Luke,
it instead
we're
of
still doing
sorry.
the podcast.
I know, we're still doing the podcast. Yeah, that just about wraps it up. I think.
Taylor, thank you so much for being on our show.
You're
Thank you for
such a
Being our
me.
first
sweetheart.
director. Hashtag director of the
I'm
stars.
so proud.
She just did a rock star sign
To the
because I think
microphone.
she forgot we were a podcast.
She
She was like, rock on! And no one saw it but me.
If you are a playwright out there and you need a director, hit up
Taylor
Taylor.
Thompson.
What's your social media?
Taylor Mayhem.
Yeah, Taylor, Taylor, May, Maye, Ham.
Okay.
As in
H-A-M.
ham.
As in ham.
Ham.
Like Taylor Ham
May
with May
Ham. Got
in
it.
the middle.
Oh, we got it.
Mayhem. Got
No, it actually is supposed to be a reference to Taylor Ham and not Mayhem. It just also reads that way.
it. Wow. Breaking things happening here on the podcast.
Sorry.
No, you're good. That's gonna wrap it up for Behind the Desk.
Follow us on all the social media.
lukewarmmelon@gmail.com.
Keep listening, keep downloading. We got a lot coming at you.
I'm going to keep saying it because it helps so much. Hit 5 stars on the ratings and drop us a review because it keeps popping up on other stuff.
And you can be on our Instagram.
Yes.
Friday.
Fan Fridays. Also, that's like how we got those downloads from Sweden and UK because people are popping up and like seeing it on their Discover stuff.
Thank you. And we're now on Spotify.
I was just about to say it. Now we're on Spotify. Get out of here.
Have a great life.
Killer.